Good morning. We are going to discuss about Axi-Symmetric planes, Axi-Symmetric objects or Axi-Symmetric laminas. First, let us discuss about the definition for this one. Axi-Symmetric plane. Consider a plane or a lamina which is being cut into two parts using an axis. Then, if both parts are symmetrical, that means having same size and shape, then that plane or that lamina, that object is called as axisymmetrical objects, axisymmetrical planes. Now let us see in detail. Consider a square plane. Consider a square plane of side 20 mm, and now I am going to cut this square plane into two parts using y axis. This is the y axis. Now I have cut into two parts, 1 and 2. If you look closely, these two parts are symmetrical in nature, which means that both are rectangle, both are having same dimension 20 10, and here also 20 10. So these two parts are symmetrical with each other. If this is the case, then it is easy for me to locate the centroid, because the centroid will come or will lie only on this axis. So axis symmetrical object, you can easily get the answer for centroid. You can easily find the centroid. That is the major benefit of on this axis symmetrical plane. So this now this square plane is called symmetrical with respect to y axis. Similarly, the same plane is cut by x axis into two parts, 1 and 2. Now if you look closely, these two parts are symmetrical with each other. That means here it is rectangle, here also rectangle, and if you look at the dimension, here it is 20 10, here also it is 20 10. So these two parts are axisymmetrical with respect to x axis. Now you can easily locate the centroid, because the centroid will lie only on this axis. So it is symmetrical about x axis. So it is we can easily find the centroid in any axisymmetrical objects, axisymmetrical planes, and it should be your first uh, job in finding the whether the given object is axisymmetry or not, because it plays an important role in finding the centroid. Okay. Now let us take three sections and we will find whether that section is axisymmetry or not. Now let us take a C section. Okay, and this side is having the dimension of 100. Now I am going to cut this C section into two parts with respect to x axis. So this is the x axis. Now I am going to cut this into two parts. So this is the first part and this is the second part. Now if you look closely, these two are symmetrical with each other. So it is easy for me to find the y bar now. Y bar is in the sense distance between centroid as well as x axis. Easy, because this should be half of this 100 and this should be half of this 100. So y bar can be easily found out like y bar equal to 100 by 2, where this 100 is nothing but this one, this 100. So y bar can be directly found out like 50. So in this way you can easily get the answer for y bar, centroid, for axisymmetry planes. Now let us take another one, inverted T section. Let me take this one as the inverted T section, because it is the English letter T, but it is in inverted form. So this is inverted T section. Here the dimension is 100. Now I am going to cut this T section by y axis into two parts, 1 and 2. Now if you look closely these to each other, it is like a mirroring. I am going to have a mirror like this. Now these two parts are having a mirror image. So it says that these two are axisymmetry with respect to y axis. Now it is easy for me to find the value of x bar, because X bar is the distance between centroid as well as y axis. So you can easily get the answer for the X bar, the position of the centroid, the position of the centroid or the location of the centroid. How? You just take that this total distance is now 100. So here it should be half of the 100, here it should be half of the 100. Now X bar is equal to 100 by 2, X bar equal to 50. Okay, so it means that the centroid should come or lie only on this y plane, y axis, y axis. The centroid should come only on here only. So this is the very important thing in Axi-Symmetric plane. You can easily get the centroid plane. Now let us see one another plane, I section. So this is I section because it looks like the English letter I. Here this is y axis and this is x axis. Now I am going to cut the I section into two parts. You just see here. So I am going to cut this into two parts, and this is first part, this is first part, this is second part. Now these two are symmetrical with each other, same size and same shape. So I can easily get the answer for this X bar. How? The total distance is 100, so 100 by 2. Here this should be half of the distance and this should be half of the distance. So this is what here I have done. X bar equal to 100. Here this 100 is nothing but this distance, 100 by 2, which is equal to 50. Similarly, y bar. Okay. Now I am going to cut this plane by x axis. Okay, x axis. Now this portion should be half of this distance, and this distance should be half of this distance, that is 100. So y bar can be easily found like y bar equal to this total distance, which is nothing but 100 divided by 2, which is equal to 50. Now if you look closely, the centroid is located very easily, directly. You know that x bar is equal to 50, y bar is equal to 50. So this G, so the centroid can be easily found out in Axi-Symmetric planes. So this is what the benefit of Axi-Symmetric planes. So before going to solve any centroid problem, first check whether the given plane is a axisymmetrical one or not. If it is a axisymmetrical one, then you can easily get the answer for the position of the centroids, x bar or y bar. Second thing is that some cases, if you take these three planes, these two planes are symmetrical with respect to any one of the axes. See, this is a C section which is symmetrical with respect to x axis, but it is not symmetrical with y axis. So you can get answer only for y bar. You cannot get the answer for x bar. To find the answer for x bar, we are going for method of summation, that I will tell in the next video. Similarly, if you take this section, it is symmetrical with respect to y axis. So x bar can be easily found, but it is not symmetrical with respect to x axis. So y bar cannot be found easily. But this is a section, it is symmetrical with respect to x as well as y axis. So x bar, y bar can be found directly and easily. Okay, so this is also one of the things we have to note. Thank you. We will meet in the next video.